Same seats, same seats, same mates. Every other week, scarf up, heads high. Hear the cockerel speak. White and blue in my blood, in my name. Born and bred for the lane, for the lane. We are Tottenham, super Tottenham from the lane. Sing it louder, feel it running through your veins. Thfc, till we die, that's the way. We are Tottenham, super Tottenham from the lane. Oh yeah! Hey, hey, old boys, young kids, all in one song. Heartbreak, hailstorms, still we march on. Under lights, under rain, it's the same. All in, all out, for the badge, for the name. We are Tottenham, super Tottenham from the lane. Sing it louder, feel it running through your veins. Thfc, till we die, that's the way. We are Tottenham, super Tottenham from the lane.
Yes, guys, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the one and only Thfc to a die home of Tottenham, past, present, and an exciting future under Robert De Zerbi. And yes, this is Newsbeat. This is Newsbeat, the transfer rumour show, where we've had a bit of an exciting day at White Hart Lane. Of course, yes, Tottenham have got their new goalkeeper in. We did announce earlier, here we go. So a deal was agreed for the former Burnley and Manchester United goalkeeper. He has joined Spurs, so that's a good backup for Kingsley. Also, we were let know by Fab. Also, I found out a couple of hours ago as well that Gianluca Vicario will be leaving the club in the summer, so he won't be staying around. How are we all this evening? It's going to be a little bit of transfers. What's going on? There was something from Ben Jacobs I saw, and I just wanted to see, where is it now? There was something about Ben Jacobs now. Let's see. Okay. Well, we're going to start with this. There's one rumour going around this evening that Tottenham Hotspur are expected to loan out Mikey Moore. Now, we did say about 4 days ago that he will be loaned out for the 26-27 season. UEFA Champions League and Europa League clubs are interested. We know Rangers are trying to get him back on another year up there. Mikey Moore has received loan interest from clubs in the Champions League, Europa League for a loan deal. Clubs from Greece, Portugal, Germany interested. There's also interest from Championship clubs, but not final decision yet by Mikey Moore. All parties will discuss the best club to continue his development. Also, there has been a lot of rumours going around that Spurs have reached an agreement with West Ham over an 80 million plus 5.5 million deal for Fernandes. As I'm hearing, no deal has been agreed. But for what I was told earlier, that as it stands, Spurs are willing to pay more than United and not out of it yet, but are weighing up their options. But it's not a done or near done yet. We're looking around 85 million for the player. And as it stands, in the last sort of last 20 seconds, this just landed on my WhatsApp. Fernandes looks Spurs bound as things stand. So looks like that he could be heading to Tottenham. Now, we did read earlier that did report earlier that Manchester United have pulled out of the race for Fernandes. So that will leave things open for Tottenham Hotspur. It's been a really good day, hasn't it? It's been a good day for Spurs. And I get a few people are a little peed off because we're not, getting a keeper from Burnley. And I get it. I do understand the frustration. I do understand that we should be going for bigger and better players. But I think this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer for me. And I get everyone has their different opinions. Everyone has their different thoughts on the subject. But for me, it's a no-brainer. I'm just trying to look very quickly for the Ben Jacobs news on Spurs. This one here will go back half an hour ago. Ben Jacobs did report that Nottingham Forest, one of the leading contenders for Lucas Bergville, as reported on TalkSport. He says on Sunday, Chelsea and Villa have inquired in the past, but have no approaches for either club as it stands. As for about 49 minutes ago, Spurs are in advanced talks with Fernandes as the rival Manchester United for West Ham midfielder Fernandes is one of Tottenham's top targets. Exclusively for real, West Ham seeking around 80 to 85 million, around double what they paid for him. Paid to Southampton. An incoming of 90 million shareholder cash injection is likely to leave West Ham in a strong position. Man United, who I was told earlier have pulled out of this, but according to Ben Jacobs, Man United are also in talks with both Fernandes and West Ham. Spurs are also rivaling Man City for Tonoli, and Spurs, Manchester and Arsenal are all have Alex Scott on their radar, who Bournemouth hope to sign a new deal. Movement expected now in the next days or weeks on all fronts as clubs enter a new financial year. The old financial year ended, I think, yesterday or at the end of the month. It ends and the new year starts on the 1st of July. So we wait to see what happens. But big up to Daniel, big up to Giant, big up Giant. It says big up to him in chat, big up Rodney March, big up Rodney Martin, big up to your coys. Is Tonoli deal progressing, or is it going to be hybrid hijack? Do you know what? I've said this a few times, John, and I'm going to stick by this. For what I watch Bobby, right, on the Football Takeover, and he was saying on there that Arsenal are going for two midfielders. They're going for Baconi and they're going for Rodgers. I do not see where Tonoli sits in the Arsenal midfield. It doesn't. I don't think he does. I also don't think he will get the game time too. I think he would look at Spurs. I think they're both from the same town in Italy, him and De Zerbi. So there's a link straight away. I think also he will be a starting player in the midfield for me. I don't think Tonoli's going to Arsenal. Now, look, funnier things that happen. Arsenal could hijack the deal and say, right, you're coming to us. For what I'm understanding, for what I've been told, that's not going to happen. So big up to you, Giant. Big up to Ryan. He says, big up Dermo. Don't want any more kids. Well, do you know what, Ryan? What do you want? What do you want? I mean, we know Tottenham have 400 million to spend. So what do you want? What's a kid to you? What age is a kid to you? Let me know what age you think a kid is to you. Because a lot of youngsters now that are 17, 18, 19, they're young players, yes. But that's the age of the players now. The days have gone where you're going to buy an expensive player or an experienced player or 28, 29. Them days are gone. I know you're not happy with our goalkeeper. I know you're not happy with the ownership. What would make you happy? That's what I like to know, because I find, right, and this is just for me talking from my own point of view, I just find wherever this clubs do, certain section of the fan base will find a way of finding a negative point to it and find a way of finding a negative spin. Can we not just rejoice in something that Tottenham haven't done in years, which is the window's only been open since the 15th. So you're looking at 7, 8, 9 days it's been open. And we've already got 4 players in. Yes, one of them we paid 52 million, 3 of them in on free transfers. So are you happy with Robinson then, Ryan, who's an experienced player as you want? Are you happy with him because he was a free transfer? Are you happy with Cincini, the Bournemouth player? Are you happy with him? I just find that we always, as a fan base, we will find a way of finding a negative spin to this. And I think it's very early in the window. It's very, very early. There's a lot more of the window to go next. And it's easy to get these deals done first than it is to get these complicated deals like the Tonali's and like other deals will take time. They will take time, and they will take a lot of time to get done. It's not like playing Football Manager or FIFA, and you do it within the space of 5-10 minutes. And I think Tottenham are going to be very, very busy. We are going to spend a lot of money. There's going to be a lot of outgoings as well as ingoings. I think also the squad will get a major overhaul, but we've got to admit we're not going to do everything in the one window. This is going to be multiple windows. So, in a way, I think the Lewis family have now got to put up or shut up. And I think this is the window where they've got to put up and shut up. Really do. Let's see who else is in tonight. Big up to Stevens. Big up, Steve. Hope you're doing well. Even in Dermot chat, do you think Fernandes could play for it? I do. I think Fernandes would be a great player for us. I honestly, I think he would prefer to go to Manchester United, but I don't think United are willing to pay the money, and Spurs are willing to pay the money. And if Spurs are willing to pay the money, West Ham going to take it all day long. I mean, also the Somerville as well. I don't think Savino's coming to Tottenham. I don't think that deal's gonna come off. It's been this third window now we've been linked with him, so I don't think that deal is going to go any further. If we get any more kids, then I might be done. Well, you do have to buy a balanced squad, Ryan. You can buy all experienced players. You've got to blend it out with youth as well. So you've got to balance it 50-50. I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but you do have to balance it. You do have to balance it. Our big up Anthony says, Dermot, we have sorted out the back line. We need a top-class midfielder, and tell me a team that wins quality trophies that have a shit up. Yeah, exactly. And Anthony, I agree with you. I think Tonali, also Tonali and Fernandes gives you that class in that midfield. More, I think, Tonali than Fernandes. I like Tonali. I really do. I think he's a class midfielder. Fernandes does give you that as well. And then you got the backup then of course, Archie Gray. You've got the backup of then, of course, Bentancur as well. I think Sarr will leave. Papa Sarr will go out. I think also Palhinha's not going to sign. I mean, if we really wanted Palhinha, we should have done it by now. And everyone was right. Look, even me, I was raving about Palhinha. But I think there's better midfielders at the club and better ones coming in. And I think he's sort of on the, if you want to build a squad, do you really want players of 28, 29, 30? No. You want to keep them round, as Rhino said. I say for the age, it's probably 20, 21 to 25, 26. You need a young squad. You need a young but experienced squad as well. And I think the players that we've brought in the experience, we need to bring in a few youngsters as well and balance the squad out. But yeah, I'm really, really impressed with our business so far. Big up to Daz. Hope you're doing well. Yes, Daz, I didn't get to answer your questions. I will be doing gaming possibly next week. I'm just trying to set up a few things, and then once I get them sorted out, then I'm back gaming again. So yeah, we will take it from there. What I want to talk tonight was about the meeting between the club officials and the FAB, and there was stuff coming out of it last night. Now, I get we cannot change. You can't move mountains overnight, and I get that. But I do feel there was a lot come out of it that's given us an insight into how things are changing at Tottenham. So we're going to go through that, and then we will end off. And any more, of course, breaking news I will bring to you first and fastest. So this was the first bit. Vinay was talking. This was about Vinay. Vinay said Roberto joined because he believes in what we can do together as a team. He had no retention bonus He never asked for control over any decision making. He was a complete committed to the club. If we were relegated, Johan played a crucial role in his appointment. Roberto was always the number one choice, and we're delighted the impact he has made so far. Peter grew up, this is going through the different people that were there last night. Peter grew up in England, like all boys in England. He played football, grown up with stories that doesn't know the number of players in the football team are insulting. Many of the stories and links to players or regarding whom the club is trying to buy or sell are untrue. Example, the club is not trying to sign Mason Greenwood, which sort of adds to my point really the other day, that you see a lot of people on X or on putting out the newspapers that all Spurs are after this player, they're after Mason Greenwood. Well, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. The club are not trying to sign Mason Greenwood. So, that sort of tells you there's a lot of BS going around. Stories in January about who's the best paid player had become are completely fabrication. On sporting directors, Vinay said the club has confidence in our people, but if we find someone who can complement our existing team and make it better, then we will do that at the right time. And in a summer window, it's not the right time. So to answer that question, Tottenham are not going to hire a sporting director before the start of the season. Now, that may change in between the summer window and the January window. Then we may hire a sporting director then. But as for this window, there's no sporting director going to be hired. Many names and media are linked with us. We have never spoken to players, are not bought or sold because the club wants or Roberto wants to. Johan and his team work hand in glove with Roberto to develop and deliver a joint plan. Finally, Vinay explained the club are constant dialogue with the PGMLO around refereeing standards and discussion. This is carried out privately and professionally rather than in the public domain. So a lot of information there to start off with. The first bit is that, look, we're not going to hire a sporting director in this window. That's something we're going to do later on, probably after the window's shut. Now, we do know Johan Lang is still in charge of transfer to his team. That is a slight worry. For me, I would have got rid of him before the window started. But I don't think he's behind this. There is another gentleman that's joined the club as well, looking over the football operations, and he's more dealing with the transfers. I think Johan Lang is making the teas and making the cups of coffee or making the bacon sarnies for the guys. I don't think Johan would be trusted with buying and selling players at any point. So a lot of information there, and it was quite interesting that they came out that he had no retention fee bonus, no bonus for staying up in the Premier League. He was never asked for control over any decision making, which I do find a little bit hard to believe. I think he would have asked for some sort of, I do want a final say on certain players. I can't just think he would sit there, you're getting this player. Oh, thank you so much. No, I don't think so. So I don't think that's true. He was completely committed to the club. If we were relegated, yeah, I think that is true. I think that bit is spot on. I think he would have stayed and he would have tried to bring the club back up. So I think that is true. As for Johan Lang playing a crucial role in his appointment, I don't think so. I think that was more Vinay and him, or more the Lewis family chucking money at it. He didn't want to come to the summer, remember. It was only when the Lewis family said, we're going to give you so much. So I do feel there's a little bit of, as he called it, fabrication in there. I don't think he's telling the whole truth. I think he's saying things that look good. But for me, I don't think so. What is good that he has sort of debunked these Mason Greenwood rumours, and we've seen a lot of them on X, a lot of them in the paper. So it's great to see that the club are not trying to sign people like a Mason Greenwood. I think everything has to be done privately. Everything has to be done secretly as well. I know this little bit before I move on was stories in January about who the best paid player had become are complete fabrication. Well, that's interesting because we do know Colin Gallagher is actually paying over £200,000 a week, or around that figure. So we know he's one of the highest players at the club. So we do know that. So again, a little bit of fabrication, a little bit of BS. So there's some truth in this, and there's some stretching of the truth, and there's some BS. So we will move on. Right, the next one, Vinay did confirm that the current period as a rebuild rather than the short-term action. The rebuild based on our connection, priority, success, squad systems, and standards. Now, these go into little PowerPoints, really. So we've got the top two. Then we've got success means building a team capable of competing consistently for major honours with a clear football identity. That identity has to come from the manager. That's where it has to come from. It can't come from anywhere else but him. So he was set out to whoever's the team are to buy the players. This is the philosophy. This is what I want. And these are the players I want for my philosophy. And I do feel that it's important that we do stick to it, because what we've done over the years, we've gone from one philosophy to another philosophy to another philosophy to another philosophy. We've gone from attacking managers to really defensive managers to managers that don't know what they're doing. So I think it's important that we stick by this philosophy. And even if De Zerbi goes, I think we've got to stick with it. We've got to stick with the Tottenham way. We've got to stick with the attacking football, the push and run. People ask, what is push and run? What is the Tottenham way? The Tottenham way is playing attractive football. It's playing push and run. It's pass and move. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. Arthur Rowe, back in the day, explained it to a player back in the 40s or late 40s, before the 51 side won the league, won back-to-back tight championships, second division and first division, that he said he'd give him a ball. He says, you hit the ball against the wall and you run to where it stops. That's push and run. It's as simple as that. And we've seen many styles of it over the years. We saw the Bill Nix side playing push and run. Arthur Rowe started, then the Bill Nix side had their version of it. We had the Keith Burkenshaw side had their side of it. Poch even had a way of playing push and run. So that there is a lot of, it has sort of changed over the years, but the principles are still the same. So if he is looking at a philosophy, then he has to stick with it. Even if the manager goes, we still need to stick to that philosophy. It's a successful and consistent major honours. Squad means development of the right balance of quality, depth, resilience, leadership, and potential. And I think that's been the problem. I will get to your comments in a minute, Ryan. So don't think I'm not. I will get it to in a minute. A lot of it rarely is. If you look over the years at Tottenham, and we've had so many squads that have been unbalanced, either too much youth or too much experience. You need the right balance. You need the balance to blend. You need it to blend. You need a squad to, it's like making a cake, right? Or cooking dinner. You want to put the right ingredients in it to make sure your cake is the best cake, or it cooks properly. That's what's like, it's building a squad. It's about putting the right ingredients into it. So you need a certain section of experienced players. You need some youth players as well. And you need some in the middle players that everyone can do a job. So say if Robinson goes out, we know Jet Spence is going to go in and back him up. Or we know your doggy will play him as a backup. If Porro gets injured, we know Jet Spence is going to fill that up. We know if say, for example, we get Tonali and Fernandes, then you know we've got backups in Archie Gray and Bentancur. And so there has to be, for every position, there has to be 2 to 3 players. So you want a really experienced player, you want an experienced backup, and you want a youngster. So they're all learning from each other. And I think it's important. I really do think it's so important that for every position, you have 2 or 3 players for them positions. So you probably want a squad around 35, 40 for me. I think it's a perfect squad size, especially if you're in 4 competitions. System means strengthening recruitment performances, medical support, players, development, and football operations. I think the big one to come out of that, I think it's medical support. I think our medical team needs complete overhauling. It's been too many years that our medical department has been really badly built and really badly developed, and it's caused us to have our worst injury crisis in so many years. at the club probably in their history. And that's down to bad investment. That's down to not invested in the best people to do the job. And Vinay made a very point during the end of the season where he said that if you go around the training ground, it's not good enough. And that was very sort of point to Daniel Levy that you didn't do a good enough job. You made somewhere where it's comfortable for players, but you haven't made it that it's a training excellence for players and development for them. And the medical department's part of that. So there has to be major investment, get the top doctors, the top physios, the top people in there to do the job. And also make sure the information is correct and right from physio to medical department to manager and coaches. So they know X, Y, and Z. Say, for example, Bergville, right? Say he comes back. Right, Bergville's ready to start against Arsenal. Are you sure? Yes, he's done this, he's done that, he's perfect. You have to play him though for an hour. That's it, and bring him in gradually. That's the information you need. You go back to under Ange when we had Romero and Van der Ven both come off in the first half against Chelsea because there was no information given to Ange Postecoglou at the time to say, look, these players can only play so long. He was told, yeah, they're fit to play. That's not good. That is not good. So there has to be a rebuild. There has to be a restructure of the medical department. Now, can you do that in one summer? No. This takes time, and that is the issue. A lot of fans will not have the patience for a complete overhaul. We want success, and we want it now. But if you look into the future and building for the future, then yes, it will take time to get it right. But we're starting from scratch now, and I think this is important that the Lewis family do stick to what they're saying. They do stick to what they come out with when Daniel Levy left last September, that we're building for success on the pitch. We heard it last season. They've got to do it this year. And it's not just this summer. They've got to back it up again in January, and they've got to back it up again next summer and January and summer after that. They've got to consistently back it up every transfer window, every year. The last bit is the standards means creating a high performance environment with accountability, leadership, collabs, and the right culture and clear expectations. And that's important. The big word to come out of that little last standing point was accountability. Too many players last year didn't take accountability for their bad performances and for their failures on the pitch. Managers didn't take accountability. The owners didn't take accountability. Now, they did put out a statement at the start of the summer saying, yes, we take it, it's our fault. It falls on us at the end of the day as being custodians of this football club. And then I'll get to your point in a minute, Ryan. I don't understand why you're saying this, because then what will ever make you happy then? I don't know. I'll get to your point in a minute. So it's all about accountability. And us fans have to take accountability. Now, not for what happened on the pitch. We can't do that. We can't do anything about that. Our accountability comes in when there's protests, that we need to let these people know that we're not happy in what we do. And there's too many people that don't say, I'm going to go to the protest. Yeah, I'm going to go and protest, but don't go and protest. I can't go to the protest because I live in Ireland. So there's no physical way of me getting over there unless I'm going to the game. Then yes, I will go to a protest. But we've got to, if Change for Tottenham, whoever's doing the protest, we've got to go and back that 100%, because we cannot let these owners let off the hook anymore, because we were left for this squad and this club to fall to pieces nearly, to the point where we nearly got relegated. And last season should have been the season we should have got behind Change for Tottenham, and we should have protests, and we should have got behind them and sent a clear message to these owners that this isn't good enough. This should never happen again. So in that way, I think we have to take accountability, because we're the ones that can make a difference. We can make a difference within the pitch, which we did. We supported the players through thick and thin last season, home and away. The away fans, I think, were brilliant last year. I could understand the home fans because of the shite that was brought up before us at home, and that I do get. But I think when it comes to protesting and it comes to sending a clear message to the board, I think when it's need to do, we came far short. And I include myself in that. I have to take accountability that I didn't do enough when I went to games, even if there was no protest. So I need to do more. And I think as fans, as match-going fans, if you are going and there is a protest, it's not going to turn you into a bad fan. It's not going to. Nobody's going to think any less of you. It just shows you care about the football club, you care about the club, and you want the club to be better. And you want to send a message to these owners that they have to do better and that this can never happen again. So I think everyone has to take accountability. Leadership, I think bringing Robinson in as part of the leadership group, I think that needs changing. I think the leadership group needs completely changing. The likes of Romero shouldn't be captain. I think either make Robinson captain or Mickey van der Ven. And they have to find accountability as well. The right culture means a winning environment. It means everyone sticking together, fans, players, everyone as one unit. And I think that culture, and that's how you win. You look at United under Fergie. One man was in charge. Fergie was the man in charge, and everyone rallied behind that. But he had lieutenants on the pitch. He had the likes of Brian Robson, Steve Bruce, Roy Keane, players like that. As the years went on under his management, and many squads he built and rebuilt, there was always 3 or 4 leaders in that group that led by example. And that's what we need at Tottenham. We don't have players that lead by example. We have players that think it's okay to lose, it's fine to lose, that's grand. And also players, well, I don't want to be here, I'd rather be in Argentina. But the club captain, this is a game we could get relegated. No, I'm gonna stay out there. You were shamed into coming back. So I do feel the Tottenham was rotten to the core. It has to be cut out, and it has to be completely there's nothing we can do until it changes from the top, and that has to filter down. This is Dan Lewington, Tottenham's performance director, and his sort of role in it really was he advised the review to convert the squad design, training methods, recovery processes, and player availability. He noted that injury levels have been affected by coaching changes, squad compositioning, and player workloads, why re-entry rates remain pretty low. Lewington confirmed that the improvements were being implemented across the performance recovery. Player management included individual performances plans and training centre enhancements. He discussed the club's targets around players' availability. Supporters represent, and it just goes on and on. The last bit I find really interesting. Supporters representatives raised the importance of a clear pathways from academy as young signings to the first team, noting that previous history in the era, it was agreed this would be discussed in more detail at the next meeting, which I think is very important. And I've been saying that for the last couple of days. We've got Rafi Morsen, Tottenham's Director of Football Operations. Now, this is the man I think has taken control of this window. And he started with a blinder. He really has. Now, he advised that his remit includes recruitment, player transactions, infrastructure, player care, and responsibility for the women's team. He emphasized the importance of player welfare relationships, building, improving football outcomes, and explaining his role in player training. So this is the man that at the moment is leading our window. So big up to him, and long may it continue. And these were the last little bits of it, I think, guys, as well. So this one, an example being worked is underway to reshape the first team environment at the training centre, including a new player briefing, tactical room, a complete transformation to the gym, changes to the player restaurant, and making the building feel like a true performance environment. The closed season is the first window where changes of this scale can be commenced. The academy has been significantly transformation over the past couple of years, but since the autumn, significant further investment has been made available to strengthen the talent pipeline as a key priority across all age groups, while acknowledging that the outcomes would take time to become visible. And then the last bit here is Vinay said, recognised fans' concerns from the 25-26 season and responded to the concerns that were raised regarding decisions taken during the season. He explained the club is where it is today due to the issues built up over many years. And whilst he emphasised there was no quick fix, he outlined that the process being made across multiple areas since September, when the decision for a major reform was taken. He explained this was not meant as a criticism of what's gone before, but simply an assessment of where we are and the scale of change needed. So to wrap this last bit up, to be fair, guys, I think it really shows how bad we were as a football club. And it's easy for them to say, well, don't look at us. Look at Jack over there. It's all his fault. And this is where I think the accountability bit has to come in. He said earlier, we have to take accountability. Well, you need to take it. You're not taking accountability there. You're blaming somebody else for the failures. You're blaming somebody else for last season. Yes, we all know last season wasn't good enough. We all know it's been years and years and years and years of not getting it right, either in the transfer market or sacking managers or whatever. But I think everyone has to take that bit of the pie. Everyone has to take that sort of, yes, we cocked up. We hold our hands up, we cocked up. We want to put it right. Well, now's your chance. Put it right. Let's go through a few people here and see what's going on. Ryan says, I don't trust Vinay or Lang. They're chatting crap. Vinay just go and Lang goes, well. We can want them gone. I agree with that, what you say they need to go, but it's not down us to get rid of them, Ryan. It's down to the Lewis family to sack them. And if they're in their eyes are doing a good enough job to be kept in the job, then there's nothing we can do. As I said, we just want our club back. That's it. That's one good thing. Okay, then Vinay, what are we building from then? I don't think it's rebuilding. I think this squad needed rebuilding. And there's been failures. Last summer was a failure. Last transfer windows were failures. So I think we rebuilt the squad badly, and that reflected in our season. I think this season we had to start. We've, for what I was being told the last few days, that we've shocked a few Premier League clubs around. We're playing one game. Look, I get it. We're only playing one game a week, but what about next season? What happens if we do go long in the cups? So then you are playing 2 games a week. If you get replaced, then that's an extra game. But when you get to next season, then you are playing 3 or 4 games a week. So why you've got this 1 game a week, Ryan, it's better to build a squad now and then add to it next summer than not doing anything this year and get to next summer and thinking, oh shit, we've got League, FA Cup, League Cup, and Europe. Oh, we need to build a better squad. Do it now. And then all you got to do next summer is just add to it. I think that's the prudent thing to do. The mental compartment need to go put dirt. No, don't do that, Ryan. Don't do that. They can back it up and everyone. I still want them gone. Then, if that's the case, then you're never going to be satisfied of what Tottenham are going to do. I get you're frustrated. I think we're all frustrated. We all want new owners, yes. But nothing's going to happen, Ryan, until somebody comes in and slaps a 3 billion bid or 2.5 billion bid. I get it. I do get it. I do understand. But if we have a really good window and we get the right players in, you're still going to say, yeah, it was a good window, but I still want them gone. Then I get that, but they can't go until we can't get rid of them. They will only go when they get the money they want. And then there's no, if somebody else does come in, Ryan, there's no way that they might be better. They could be 20 times worse. So you don't know what the future holds. And we get it. 25 years, they've been trash. But if they did go, and you look at United, the Glazers are still there, and United is still trying to get them out. Yes, the football side's gone to Jim Ratcliffe. Maybe that's the way it might go. They might sell the football side, but they keep the business side. I want you owners, and that's what I want. So you're right, Damon. There's nothing they can do to get me back on side. I rather roll the dice. I get it. I get it. I do get it. Roll the dice. But Ryan, I've seen it a lot worse when we nearly went out of existence. And if you think last season was bad, and yes, it was bad, sitting as a teenager, waiting for news to come in that your club may go out of complete existence, completely, it's far worse. And there's a lot of people my age that remember that. And I get it. I do understand what you're saying. And we all want you owners. Of course we do. But sometimes there's an old saying, it's better the devil you do than you don't. I think that's it. Or better the devil you know, you know. Well, anyway, it's that sort of saying. And you're a young fan, Rhino, so you got more years and years and years. You got another 60 years ahead of you, 70 years ahead of you watching Tottenham. I'm 50 next year, so I've probably got another 30, 40 years, if that. So I just rather we win a league now. And I think we can do it. I think in the right investment, and we've got to pay the wages. That's the problem. We've spent quite heavily over the last 4 or 5 windows, but we've never paid the wages. We have to bring our ratio of wages up, and that is important too. That is so important that we do that. Big up to DJ, big up DJ. The thing is, we're rock bottom, and they have to react or we'll get relegated. Simple as that. Exactly. Regardless of them, I agree 100%. 100%. I can't disagree with you. Cannot disagree with you whatsoever. That's the kind I don't. That's that kind I don't think I'm 60. Maybe 20. Rhino, you're only what 20. You got many years to go, man. Yeah. So look, it was a little bit of a sort of a look through of what Vinay said. Transfer wise, it's just as it broke today. So any news I will break to you first and fastest. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Do hit the like, do hit subscribe as well. Hit the follow over on X as well. But guys, we'll see you soon. We're back tomorrow. Oh, join me later, actually, if you can. Because I tell you why. Do join me later. I will get the link for it. Let me get the link. I am doing the watch along Saturday. I'm doing the watch along Saturday to England game, and then after that, I will be doing watch alongs every game. Then over on Sports News Channel tonight, we're making our debut. If you can, I really would love you to come over. Me and Mr. Brady. Yes, the old gang's back together. The old gang is back together. Of course it is. We're doing the Scotland game. Hang on. So let me get in there. I was sending the link for the game. Yes, we are doing it. We are doing Scotland, Brazil. I'm looking forward to it. So let's see. It's over there now. So if you can, go over and give us a like if you can. So copy link address. There you go, guys. If you can go over and give us a sub over on our other channel, our sister channel, Sports News Now channel, where there's going to be everything from football to Irish soccer to Irish football as well. Formula One as well. There's a Formula One podcast going to be starting as well. So if you can do that for me, I'll be really grateful. Hit that there. Major making bomber. It's understood that Tottenham have now reached a verbal agreement with Championship side West Ham for the signing of, I take it, Fernandes. Spurs 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. So yeah, I will keep very close on that. If anything breaks, I will bring to you first and fastest. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, there is a podcast, not the North London Talks football podcast, but the Fan Preferation podcast. It's been renamed and rejigged a little bit. So do join me, Jess, Stacey, and and I think, and I guess because Nick's not around this week, yeah, I know, man, I know, I do know, and I said that earlier, Scott. I don't know if you saw, but I was talking about, like, we're not in. It was mentioned last night that we have never been in for Mason Greenwood, and the loads of. If you look at X, I swear to God, that we're going in for about 50,000 people. So yeah, I got my own source. I got my own 2 people I use and sources I use. I trust them. And any news to get effects or any news to get at people, I always give it to them first. So I double check, triple check my news with my source before I break it to you guys. Big up, Scott. How you doing, Mel? I hope you're doing all right. But guys, we're going to leave it there. Do hit that link. Come over, join me and Mr. Brady tonight for Scotland versus Brazil. We're on at 10:30. Whatever you do, come on, you Spurs. In Deserby we trust.